Hey there, I'm Tucker, and you're watching D&D Daily, where we release new D&D content every day. If you're looking for D&D inspiration and information, then you are in the right spot, because today we're talking about the tactical genius with a hidden agenda, the Eye of Lolth. In order to play the Eye of Lolth, there's a couple things you're going to need. First, you're going to need to be a Drow elf. Second, you're going to need to be a War Magic Wizard. Third, you're going to need to have the Sage background. And fourth, you're going to need the Drow High Magic feat. The Eye of Lolth is a typical Drow. She was raised in the Underdark in her Drow city, worshipping Lolth. She was raised to be a leader of the Drow and to serve Lolth's wishes. She's been raised to see magic as the pinnacle of strength, and in a society where strength is everything, magic was everything. So she yearns to learn everything about magic, and anything mystical in order to gain strength. One day, the priestess of Lolth tasked her with a mission. She was to go to the surface, pretending to be an enemy of Lolth, pretending to learn about all the races above and below in order to unite them together in peace and harmony. However, in reality, she was going to the surface to learn about the other races, their cities, their cultures, and their weaknesses. She was going there in order to learn how to exploit their weaknesses and destroy them. She'll be a piece in weaving the giant web that Lolth is planning to ensnare everyone in. So now she was leaving her Underdark home in order to carry out her divinely appointed mission. The personality of the Eye of Lolth would change a lot depending if she was with her other Drow or if she was on the surface fulfilling her mission. If she was on the surface, as I'm assuming she would be for most campaigns, she would see men as below her, and she wouldn't try to play this off at first. But if this was detrimental to her cover story, then she might try to play it off later. She also sees other races as below her, like a lot. But she would try to act as if this isn't the case. She would want others to see her as accepting, loving, cheerful. However, the party and others know she is a War Magic Wizard, which I think gives some hints to her real agenda. The Eye of Lolth believes magic is the crux of strength, and personally yearns to learn everything about magic. This also means she would have more respect for powerful mages than she would for powerful fighters. I imagine her using a lot of tongue-in-cheek comments or sort of backhanded compliments when talking to other races and learning about them, or feigning curiosity and interest when really she just wants to learn the fastest way to exploit them. Overall, she is arrogant, cunning, and cautious, though she would try her best to mask that. In combat, the Eye of Lolth is a midline or backline caster. Because of her War Magic's Arcane Deflection, which allows her to add a +2 to her AC as a reaction, and her higher than usual dex, she can stay in the midline, but just to be safe, she would probably go to the backline. She is going to look for every opportunity to use Dispel Magic and Counterspell, because at level 6 she gets her Power Surge ability. This allows her to gain Power Surge points every time she successfully uses Dispel Magic or Counterspell, and these charges allow her to put extra damage behind her hits. However, she would also use a lot of control spells, like Levitate, Fairy Fire, and Darkness, which she gets from being a Drow and from her Drow High Magic feat. I imagine she'd use this over blasting spells because she is an intelligent tactician. She would control the battlefield with these spells, as opposed to simply just doing damage spells. From being a Drow, she also has proficiency with a rapier, but I don't think she would use it very much unless she was trying to keep somebody locked down with Booming Blade. I would take the Booming Blade cantrip with her, but it wouldn't be used very often. The Eye of Lolth is smart, so her battle tactics won't be simply blast everything until it dies, but would rather focus on finding out what the creature's weaknesses are and tactics that could help defeat them. The Sage background could be useful for this because of the Researcher trait, which allows you to know where to go to learn more about something you need to know. So in order to prepare for fighting a monster, she would research them beforehand and learn what their weakness is, just like her secret agenda. Out of combat, the Eye of Lolth has huge utility because of all the ritual spells she can cast and know as a wizard. She would also have a very big Arcana score and also have Detect Magic at will through her Drow High Magic feat and Dispel Magic once a day, so she can help with anything magic related. As a Drow, she also has really good dark vision, which makes her a good scout in a lot of situations. She also has a lot of skills that she is good at because of her high intelligence, and she would be very thorough in planning and very cautious and think through all her plans, which gives her allies a big advantage in anything they go into. In her downtime, the Eye of Lolth is going to spend a lot of it learning about cultures, peoples, cities, etc. Specifically about ways to exploit their weaknesses. For example, a city has, access point XYZ, or that Goliaths have resistance to cold damage, so don't use cold magic. things like that. This would be her main focus in her downtime, but she'd also research magic, always trying to find out more about the secrets of Arcana. She might be at libraries or trying to talk to powerful wizards to learn anything more about magic from them. And the key mechanics of the Eye of Lolth is that first she's going to need a high intelligence. As a wizard, it's going to be great and super important for spellcasting and for all of her skills. Second come Dex and Con. They're probably tied for that second place because it raises her AC and gives her more health, which is just going to make her less squishy in general. And I would try my absolute hardest to get at least a +1 to Charisma, because she is kind of a spy character. So a higher Charisma means better Deception and Persuasion. And then skill proficiencies I would take would for sure be Arcana, History, Deception, and Persuasion. Like every character, the Eye of Lolth has some pretty stark weaknesses. Firstly, as a drow, she has sunlight sensitivity. You can partially mitigate this sunlight sensitivity by having a lot of spells that force your enemies to make saving throws instead of just straight attacking spells, which she already does with a lot of her drow heritage spells. Her second big weakness is that she's not very good in melee. While she has proficiency in a rapier and she has a +2 from her arcane deflection, she's really still just not that great, like any wizard. And that is because, in general, she's just squishy. She has an okay AC because of arcane deflection and things like that, but don't let that fool you. She's still just really squishy because she's a wizard. As an NPC, I don't see the Eye of Lolth as a big bad character, but I do see her as a minion of a big bad. She might meet the party and interact with them for a while, and much later down the road, after the party gets to know her and after the party likes her and is her friend, they can see a drow bad guy, and then they can connect the dots that she's working with him. If you decide to go with this scenario, I would have the party interact with her a lot, so that when you do pull that trigger on her betraying them, it'll be even a bigger shock to the party. I think the key note to hit with the Eye of Lolth is to be arrogant, judgmental, and have a superiority complex, without letting everyone else know. She's also in a role of gaining tactical advantage for Lolth, and will show her tactical prowess in all she does. She is going to try her best to fit the role that she was given, but she's still a drow through and through. And now that you've watched the whole video, let us know, how do you use the Eye of Lolth in one of your games? What would you do to make her better? Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know what you thought of this video by hitting the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Either way, lets us know. And on the next episode of D&D Flavor Builds, we're going to be talking about the high-flying, lightning-diving pirate of the skies, the Thunderbird. Hit the subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks.